on a daily, feeling like Gresh unleashed.
Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the return of the recap version of Beyond the Universe, where I give you a quick recap of our road to the Royal Rumble live from Tokyo, Japan. On episode 5 of Monday Night Carnage, the Rebellion's Zack Ryder challenged the Machine Brian Cage for the World Television Championship, and while Cage was moments away from retaining the title, the Rebel group struck, including Chad Gable striking below the belt before connecting with a double spike pile driver, which was enough for Ryder to upset the Machine to win the TV title. Per the cabinet, Ryder must now defend the TV championship against a surprise opponent during the kickoff of the Royal Rumble live from Tokyo, a match that will be called by our good friend Third Strike Entertainment. Last month at WWE Joker's Wild, Cesaro had to overcome the interference of the Order, including somehow kicking out of the blackout stump, and avoided a swanton bomb with a European uppercut into the neutralizer to defeat Jeff Hardy for the Intercontinental Championship. And following the match, a debuting Keith Lee cashed in his NXT North American Championship for a match against the Swiss Cyborg 24 hours later on Monday Night Carnage. And in many people's eyes, it was a hoss fight between two bulls who had no intention of stopping. And when it looked as if Keith Lee was about to make Cesaro's reign a 24-hour stint, the Black Hand of the Order, Seth Rollins, interfered on the orders of Jeff Hardy and caused the match to end in a no contest, which set the stage for a brutal assault at the hands of Hardy and a steel chair, which left Cesaro on the shelf with a concussion. A week later, however, Keith Lee was out for revenge, and he even got an impromptu victory over Seth Rollins after popping up from a blackout into the Spirit Bomb. And once again, Jeff Hardy struck with the aid of the Toll Man himself, Karrion Kross. But not one to stay down, Keith Lee stormed to the ring the next week ready for a fight despite being at a disadvantage, and fought both Kross and Rollins while Hardy looked on. And then out of nowhere, Cesaro returned and took out Kross before turning his attention to the man who put him on the shelf with a concussion, Jeff Hardy, and challenged him to a fight right then and there. But then out of left field, the newest member of the Order, Buddy Murphy, assaulted Cesaro with a knee, showing that this mysterious faction's message and numbers are growing at a rapid rate. Just as Hardy and Murphy celebrated, Keith Lee pounced in and laid out Murphy with a Spirit Bomb, and just as Hardy thought he escaped, Lee showed his limitless abilities when he laid out Hardy with a dive that a man his size should not be able to do, before it was announced that Cesaro will now defend the IC title in a triple threat match against both Hardy and Lee at the Royal Rumble. On the first episode of Monday Night Carnage, the Street Profits debuted in shocking fashion when they assaulted then tag team champions the Usos at the orders of the BDC. And in an interesting twist of fate, the Undisputed Era cashed in their NXT Tag Team Championships for an impromptu championship match right then and there, and successfully won the titles, placing themselves in a small group of teams that have won both the NXT and WWE Tag Team titles in this series. A few weeks later at WWE Joker's Wild, the Profits challenged and almost defeated O'Reilly and Fish for the Tag Team titles, but vengeful Usos weren't having any of it. They weren't done with Ford and Dawkins when they assaulted both men, causing the Era to lose via disqualification, which didn't sit well with Bobby Fish, who was met with a super kick and Uso splash for his troubles. And per the cabinet, the Usos and the Profits will now challenge the Era in a tornado-style tag team triple threat match. Initially an elimination style, but it will now be a one fall to the finish. Well, need I say more about this interesting encounter we are about to witness? John Cena returns to action for the first time since WWE Ground Zero Year 4 to go one-on-one with Bray Wyatt's alter ego, The Fiend. At Survivor Series, the EST Bianca Belair overcame her knee injury and became the first woman in this series' history to defeat the unstoppable Asuka and left London, England as the WWE Women's Champion. Bianca's victory was short-lived, however, as a nightmare arrived on the scene to make it known that she was coming for that goal. And right then and there, the plans were set in motion. Due to injury, however, Bianca was given time off for a month, and in the meantime, we needed a number 1 contender, so Lacey Evans had the number 1 ranked battle the number 2 ranked as Rhea Ripley battled Asuka for the first time ever. And after a brutal encounter, she overcame the Empress to become the number 1 contender. And after being congratulated personally by the champ, she had some more business to handle when she put her championship opportunity on the line against Bayley the very next night in a no disqualification match that saw her take out the former NXT Women's Champion with a riptide on top of a ladder to pick up the victory, and the stage was set. It was on the final Carnage before the Rumble, however, where both the champion and challenger picked each other's poison, with both women overcoming the lethal injection, with Bianca, however, barely surviving Shayna Baszler. And it was at that moment that Ripley struck the champ while she was down and made it known that she will stop at nothing to claim that title. And with Bianca's health in question after her run-in with Baszler, will Bianca's 2-month reign come to a screeching halt in the Tokyo Dome? Taking it back to Survivor Series, Finn Balor unleashed Carnage, pun intended, as he finally got his revenge on the man who screwed him out of the world title at King of the Ring, a little thanks to Edge. But because of this victory, he became the number 1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at the Royal Rumble. And on the very same night, Apollo Crews defeated the one guy Balor couldn't beat, Big E Langston, as Big E missed the Suicide Spear and Crews laid him out with what MVP is now referring to as Ball Game, the suplex driver, to win his first world title. And he then went on to merge that exact same title with the WWE title, defeating Rusev to become the undisputed face of the WWE. A month later at WWE Joker's Wild, Apollo's position at the top was challenged by both Big E Langston and Ricochet in a triple threat match, and being at the right place at the right time, Crews dispatched of Langston after Big E connected with the big ending, and Crews pinned Ricochet to retain the WWE World Heavyweight title. And the stage was finally set for the Royal Rumble, but Finn was not about to pass up on the opportunity to strike his future opponent. When he dodged a title shot to the skull, Balor laid out Crews with the sling blade and gave the champ a taste of his Bloody Sunday before picking up the championship, noting that he is coming home for that. And after weeks of interviews and MVP claiming that Apollo can't lose at the Royal Rumble, the Prince wants the throne as Finn Balor challenges the Diamond Apollo Crews for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And then 30 men will do battle for that chance at immortality when they compete in the men's Royal Rumble match, with the winner facing the WWE World Champion at WrestleMania. And this year, for the first time in the series, the women have the same opportunity when 20 of the top female athletes compete for the chance to face the women's champion at the Show of Shows. This has been your recap for this week, as the road to WrestleMania officially begins when the WWE returns to Tokyo, Japan for the Royal Rumble. Coming to you right here on this channel on December 27th, 2020 at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Early access on Patreon, with the kickoff show premiering before the show goes live. I have been your voice of deviltry, Gresh, and I'll see you guys later. I'm out.
No chance like this. Brock Lesnar on the beast. He sleep, flex, and repeat. on the daily, feeling like Gresh.